Hello, everyone. I hope you are enjoying your dinner and have saved some room for dessert that is on your table there, you know? So as we have learned today, we have seen a transformative shift in what it means to live with CF because together we're advancing innovative research and care. Thank you. Because of the volunteers like you, many people with CF are living longer, healthier lives than ever before. That's right. We've got a lot to celebrate tonight, and we're going to start with some awards, and then we've got a special presentation related to Milestones 3. So lots to go on tonight. So tighten up your saddle as we hit the trail. Here to pay tribute to our volunteers is the Foundation's President and CEO, Dr. Mike Boyle, and Chief Development Officer, Pat Feely.
Great to see you.
Yes. All right.
Good evening, everyone. Oh, hi. Hi, Dr. Boyle. I thought it was Miss America that was doing the photo ops with our honorees, but we're happy to have Dr. Boyle here to help. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we come together to recognize the generous individuals and outstanding organizations whose dedication to helping people with CF powers our mission, helping to drive new and exciting scientific breakthroughs each year. We especially want to highlight our committed corporate supporters, whether they're sponsoring vital fundraising events, lighting up the dance floor at our galas, hitting the greens, or participating in our Great Strides walks. Every effort makes a lasting impact. These corporations are bringing us closer to the ultimate goal, a cure for CF. It's time to recognize our corporate award recipients. So let's give a round of applause for our top national corporate team, Choate Construction. And this year's Rising Star Award winner, Blue Halo. Our Corporate Champion Award winner is Locked In Insurance. We also recognize the National Corporate Champion members, each of which advances the Foundation's mission with contributions of $100,000 or more annually. These members are listed on this slide, and we're pleased to welcome a total of 31 companies to our Corporate Champion family in 2025, all of whom are returning from last year, and together they have raised over $8.6 million in 2024, which is more than the prior year, so forward progress. Will the award recipients who are with us tonight please stand so that we may honor you again and give them, please, another big round of applause. And as I did kid around with Dr. Boyle, Mike Boyle and I are so deeply honored that we have an award that is so important for our organization. It's our Outstanding Corporate Supporter Award. And this year, we are just so honored that American Airlines is receiving the Outstanding Corporate Supporter Award. It's such an important story for our organization. 40 years ago, Bernie Willett, an American Airlines employee who was touched by CF personally, advocated for the CF Foundation to become the beneficiary of their celebrity ski event. Fast forward to today, and the American Airlines partnership is more impactful than ever. This year, we celebrated the 40th anniversary of American Airlines Celebrity Ski. This incredible event brings together a community of current and retired American Airlines employees who volunteered to support this multi-day event, which is hosted by American Airlines and sponsored and supported by incredible corporations such as Citi, MasterCard, T-Mobile for Business, FedEx, Vail Resorts, and World of Hyatt. some of which are here, many over at table 3 tonight. From skiing in beautiful Beaver Creek, Colorado, to 3 nights packed full of entertainment, those who have attended know that this is truly an event like no other. Over the past 40 years, Celebrity Ski has raised over $47 million in support of the foundation's mission and this slide is a little outdated, over $1.3 million just earlier this month at our 40th annual event. So we're so grateful for American Airlines Celebrity Ski. And each year, so many of our volunteers know this, American Airlines donates Advantage Miles through the Let Good Take Flight initiative that are used by CF Foundation chapters across the country to enhance silent auctions and raise tens of thousands of dollars. The devoted people of American Airlines have shown steadfast passion and commitment to the CF Foundation's mission. They are, in every sense of the word, truly an outstanding corporate supporter. They really do let good take flight, a principle their company upholds across the organization. We thank a special guest for joining us this evening to accept the award on behalf of American Airlines, Katie Phillips. Please come up, Katie.
Katie, one second. Thank you. No more crying.
So much.
So welcome.
Thank you.
You go ahead and say a few words? Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. It is such a privilege to be here with you all, accepting this award on behalf of Americans' more than 130,000 team members across the globe. We are so proud of our 40-year partnership, and it has been such an honor to have a front seat to see all of the innovation and progress that has been made during that time. But we know there's more work to do, so here's to continued partnership and one day having CF stand for Cure Found. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
One more right in the middle.
Yes.
Thank you. That was fantastic. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That is-
Yes.
this is what's best.
Thank you again for being with us, Katie, and she will stay on stage because this next award is actually named after American Airlines. We now have someone else special to celebrate, and each year, the Spirit of American Airlines Award is presented to a person, organization, or corporation that embodies American Airlines' stellar commitment and dedication to the work of the CF Foundation and all people affected by cystic fibrosis. This year, we are excited to honor I'm a longtime customer of T-Mobile for Business with this award. Since 2022, T-Mobile for Business has been a platinum sponsor at the American Airlines Celebrity Ski events, donating millions of dollars and providing priceless experiences to enhance the Celebrity Ski live auctions. Not only is their support of the event steadfast, but they also share American Airlines Celebrity Ski experience with clients and vendors, many of which continue to support the CF Foundation. They are stellar champions of our mission and great friends of the CF Foundation. Please welcome Brent Nelson from T-Mobile for Business to accept this year's award. Brent?
Thank you once again. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
On behalf of T-Mobile for Business, I thank you so much. It's an honor to be here, and the biggest thank you is to all of you for putting your thumbprint on cystic fibrosis and really making an impact and a change. We're honored to be here, and thank you very much.
Yeah. Hey, why don't you grab this one? Get a picture. Oh, nice. I love there. Thank you guys so much.
Mike?
Yeah. Oh, okay, perfect. Well, congratulations again, T-Mobile, and thank you, American, and thank you, Pat. Now it's time to celebrate a really special award, and that is this year's Jenna Award winner. I know so many people know about this, and the Jenna Award pays tribute to the late Jenna Castellina, right, who succumbed to CF at the tender age of 12. This award is a really special one, and we've talked about this before, but it honors someone without a DNA connection to CF who has shown dedication to our mission. And as I said before, people that have no DNA connection but do this, we consider them to be royalty because it just shows what a big heart those individuals have. And at this time, it's my pleasure to bring Margaret and Mark Castellina, Jenna's parents, to the stage to share more about this year's award and what this award means to them, why it's so special. Mark and Margaret. Love you. Go get him, go get him, go get him. We're gonna mute him.
Oh, I love that. Oh, usually they have their picture. Hi, everyone. Woo! Hi, y'all. I'm a New Yorker. We don't do that. Anyway, thank you to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation for allowing us the honor of presenting this award every year. It's an award that goes to someone extraordinary, but not because they have a direct DNA connection to cystic fibrosis, but because they have something even stronger, a connection of the heart. Now let me ask you, how many of you in this room do not have a direct DNA connection to cystic fibrosis? That right there, that's the magic. That's what makes this community so powerful. You didn't have to be here. You didn't have to care, but you do. You have chosen to stand beside us, fight with us, and believe in a future where CF stands for Cure Found. And for that, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you. Each year, Mark and I present an award to someone who embodies the spirit of Jenna. And it's not about someone who shows up because they have to. It's because they can't imagine not fighting for something bigger than themselves. It's for someone who brings both grit and grace, someone who lifts others up, fights with everything they have, and who refuses, flat out refuses, to let challenges define them. The ones, when told something is impossible, don't accept it. They don't negotiate with doubt. They roll up their sleeves, they dig in, and they prove otherwise. That was my Jenna. At just 13 years old, with only 19% lung function, Jenna sat in a lung transplant evaluation, and she was asked to do what all transplant evaluees do, to walk a 6-minute test. But trying wasn't in Jenna's vocabulary. She finished it in 5. Yeah. Because Jenna never waited for permission to push past any limits. She didn't ask if something could be done, she just did it. She may have had only 19% lung function, but she lived at 100%, full of wit, grit, and drive. She was my book club president, my fashion advisor, and my personal reminder that no challenge is too big if you meet it with heart and humor. If my outfit was a disaster, trust me, she told me. But beyond that, she made people believe in possibility, not because life is easy, but because she refused to let cystic fibrosis define her. And at just 13, she moved up to heaven, but her spirit, her laughter, and her relentless belief and hope still live on in me today, and through all of us who refuse to give up this fight. And look around. This room is full of those people. Whether you have CF in your DNA or not, you have chosen to stand beside this community, to push forward when the road is hard, and to never stop believing that a cure is within reach. So tonight, we honor one extraordinary person who embodies all of that. Someone who didn't choose this fight because of genetics, but because of something greater, a calling to make a difference. They give their time, they give their energy, they give their heart, not for the recognition, but because they believe in hope. Now imagine if, Now imagine if life was measured in acts of kindness and not years. Imagine doing that for over half a century. A life filled with dedication, service, and a relentless commitment in making a difference. You don't need to imagine. So let me take you back to 1966. There's this young mother who moves into a new town, and her son meets a little boy named Chris. Chris has cystic fibrosis. Her son and Chris become fast friends, and through that bond, she is introduced to a world she never knew. A world where children fight to breathe, where parents fight against time, and where hope is something you cling to with both hands. What did she do? She organized fundraisers. She knocked on doors. She made calls. She recruited volunteers. She joined the board, and she did whatever it took. When research made a breakthrough, boy, she celebrated. And when a child lost their battle, she grieved as if they were her own. She never stopped. She and her husband gave their time. They were generous with their donations because they believed in a future where no parent would have to hear the words cystic fibrosis and feel helpless, and where no child's life would be cut too short. And here's the thing. She's still making calls. She's still showing up. She's still fighting at 100 years old. She continues to be a force in this fight, a woman whose impact will outlive all of us. While she may not have CF in her family tree, she has spent her life proving that family isn't about DNA. It is about love. It's about showing up. It's about never giving up on people when they need it the most. So tonight, it is our absolute honor to recognize a woman whose legacy of kindness and determination have shaped this community in ways we can never, ever fully measure. Please join me in celebrating this year's Jenna Castellina Award recipient, the unstoppable, the irreplaceable, the amazing Betty Robinson. Now, you can stand, but yes, sit. Because unfortunately, at 100 years old, now I know you're wondering, where's Betty? And believe me, well, okay, hang on. I have one more piece to share. Unfortunately, our amazing Betty had every intention on being with us here tonight. But life, as we all know, has a way of throwing us curveballs. And on Monday, Betty took a fall in her home. And she had to be admitted to the hospital. But she's doing well, and I hear she's home now. And she's with us in person online. And I bet you she is rooting for all of us to continue to fight to make sure that we don't stop until CF stands for Cured Forever. So, on behalf of all 600 people in this room, we want you, Betty, I know you're here, to feel the standing ovation that was for you with this gratitude of love. So here's what I want all of you to do, okay? On the count of 3, I want every single person in this room, now remember I have to say 3, say, "Thank you, Betty." Can we do this? All right, Betty, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Betty. And now it is my privilege to introduce to you someone who is just as proud as Betty as we all are. Her son, Greg Robinson, is here to accept this award on her behalf. Greg.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you all so much. On behalf of my mother, I do wish to say thank you very much for this award. My sister Stephanie and John had every intention, and my granddaughter, or my niece Lori, had every intention of being here tonight as well. And thank you all for the nomination for my mother. My mother's journey began with, as everybody has already heard this story, Chris and I grew up together from elementary school all the way up to a year of college. And he was quite an influence in my life. He was very much like a family member. He passed at 35, and we're still very close with his sister and his brother. My dad and mother started baking bread and doing volunteer work and donations. 2 friends of CF long before they knew every board member, annual dinners, sports ball, golf tournaments, and auctions. And my mother wishes to also say that she describes the foundation work as a lot more personal than other organizations. She's seen firsthand and what a profound impact it has on countless lives. And she says that always volunteering for cystic fibrosis is one of the most rewarding experiences that anyone can go through in their life. Thank you very much.
Your original cannot be replaced. If you only knew what the future holds.
Good? Okay, thanks. Well, thank you, Greg, and thank you, Margaret and Mark, and congratulations, Betty. We are so thankful and grateful for you. Now let's talk about another very special award, and that is the Alex Award, another one that we all know. You know, over the years, this award has been presented to some amazing people with CF who are giving their all, despite their disease, to the CF Foundation and to our community. And this year's awards winner is no exception. Before we introduce you to this year's winner, let me tell you about the inspiration for the Alex Award. As many of you know, the late Frank DeFord helped put a face on CF when he wrote Alex, the Life of a Child, in honor of his daughter, who passed away from CF at the age of 8. Frank also helped lead the CF Foundation as a chair of our Board of Trustees for 17 years and absolutely dedicated himself to our community for decades. After the loss of his daughter, Frank created the Alex Award as a living legacy to her life and spirit. And each year at this conference, Frank would present the Alex Award to a person with CF who's a role model to others living with the disease. Frank's son, Christian, has carried on his father's legacy. And now we're going to hear from Christian via video, who's going to recognize and tell us about this year's Alex Award winner.
This year, I'm honored to continue the tradition of presenting the annual Alex Award. My father, Frank, always looked forward to presenting this award, not only to honor my sister's life, but also to recognize a person with cystic fibrosis who serves as a role model for the community. It means so much to my family and me to help the foundation celebrate individuals who are brimming with passion and a hopeful outlook, in addition to supporting others living with CF. Their compassion and determination inspire us to keep pushing forward, reminding us why we're all working together towards this dream, a cure for CF. This year's honoree reflects the legacy of all who came before her through her vast engagement experiences and selfless desire to improve the lives of those living with CF. Having undergone the transplant process, she is a founding and continuing member of the CF Foundation's Lung Transplant Steering Committee, as well as its Guidelines Steering Committee. She also authored the Patient Perspective for the Post-Transplant Models of Care position paper, offering her personal experiences to the benefit of others. Her resiliency and energy continually inspire those who work in the field of lung transplantation and advanced lung disease. She refuses to be a victim and focuses instead on what she can do for others living with CF, not what she can't. Along with her clinical work, she is also a member of the Congressional Captains Program. A lawyer by training, she is a powerful advocate for the CF community, expertly explaining CF advocacy and policy. She's formed vital relationships with members of Congress and is a strong advocate, championing the Foundation's policy efforts so that someday all people with CF have access to adequate, reliable health care. Her steadfast involvement has also extended to local engagement opportunities. Because of her various efforts, such as serving on the Greater Illinois Chapter Board and participating in great strides with her team, Fanny Pack, she won the Foundation's CF Star Award in 2018 and 2019. Those who have worked with her admire her wonderful sense of humor, which never fails to bring smiles to those around her. While she is a powerful and influential force in the CF community, her most cherished roles are being a devoted mother to her 13-year-old son, Johnny, and a loving wife to Bobby. Driven by an unwavering passion and strength, she is proud to, in her words, inspire and fight for those who feel there is no fight left in them. It is my great honor to present Fanny Flahos with this year's Alex Award. Congratulations, Fanny, and thank you for all you do.
Let's get it on up in this dancery. We got y'all open, now you're focused, and you got to dance for me. And we will hate it, in this dancery. Let's get it percolated while you're waiting. So just dance for me.
Okay, so I didn't bring a tissue with me, but we'll move on. Thank you so much for this honor. I have kind of a funny story on how I learned of this honor. I've forged really amazing personal friendships with a lot of people at the CFF, and one of them being Dr. Farrow's assistant, Stephanie. And so we scheduled a call just to kind of catch up and see what's going on with each other. And so we had a virtual call set up, and I just kind of, hey, Stephanie, what's going on? Just kind of try to catch up, and then all of a sudden, people started popping up on the screen, and it was Aaron Tellerico and Abby Thaxton and a bunch of Will Covert and Dr. Whitney Brown. A bunch of people just started popping up, and I was like, what are we doing? I don't want to really, like, what are we doing here, Stephanie? And then Dr. Whitney Brown just said, well, we had to lie to you to tell you, we had to get you online somehow to tell you of this honor. And so then I started crying, and the rest is history. Stephanie and I caught up afterwards, but so I'm very, very grateful for this. Just kind of a brief background, which is why this is just context for why this organization is so important to me. I was born and raised with CF, very mildly affected my whole life. And so unlike a lot of other children that struggle, I didn't. I had a great childhood. I went through teenage angst, all the troubles that you could. Went to college, didn't really struggle with CF in the traditional form that we all know. Graduated 2 law schools. I have my Canadian and my American law license. And thank you. Thank you. My husband thought he was marrying a big, successful lawyer, but I got sick pretty soon after I met my husband. I was super healthy. I was 130% lung function. I had never been hospitalized. I'd never had an IV. And so I was super healthy. No one really needed to know. We got married. I got pregnant. Greatest news of my life. And then I got extremely ill during my second trimester. I went from 130% lung function to double lung transplant in 14 months. I was waitlisted in March of 2012, and I was told by all accounts if I didn't get a donor ASAP within the next couple of months, I wouldn't have seen Christmas that year with my baby. And so my handsome husband's here, and my 13-year-old son is over there. He was 10 months old when I was transplanted. And in some respects, I'm extremely grateful that it happened when he was so young, because he doesn't remember having the playpen in my hospital room or just sitting on the bed with me and me reading. And so I just want him to understand that life it's gonna throw you punches, it's gonna throw you curveballs, regardless if it's CF or it's not. When you're little, you fall off your bike. We all know the idiom, you fall off your bike, you get back on. And it's just turn the page, move on, go on, keep going. And so I just wanted him to understand what resilience was like, and I think he does. I think our life now, it's just, I hate the word, but it's normal now that mom takes dozens and dozens of meds a day. We hang out with my medical team. He knows what life is like for us, and that's okay. Now my concerns are transplant related, and I've gone through 11 surgeries, I've battled cancer, my body's gone through things that no 44-year-old body should go through. But I'm grateful for all the lessons, right? Like I wouldn't have changed it because I wouldn't have the perspective and the life lessons that I do now. I just want to thank, and my whole family, I come from a big fat Greek family. So no, they're not fat, they're not fat. They're just like a big Greek family. Actually, no one in my family's overweight. But I'm actually here, I hope this gets a big roar of applause. I'm Canadian. I'm Canadian, so all of my family, my parents, my siblings, aunt and uncle, cousins, everybody lives within 5 minutes of each other. And I moved to the Chicago area for love. And so the rest of my family, wish they could have been here too, but unfortunately, it just didn't kind of work out for everyone. But I have to thank my parents, especially my mom, who dropped everything to move in with us to help raise my son when I physically couldn't bend over into his crib to pick him up. She was the one who took him to the park and took him to the mall when I was tethered to an oxygen tank. She was the one that made dinner for my husband. She lived with us for almost 2 years, taking care of me and my son and my husband. And so I have to thank my mom for being the best example of what a mom could ever be. I have to thank my Loyola team. So my transplant center is Loyola, right outside of Chicago. Woo, yeah. And the entire program has become my family. We text each other funny memes, me and the doctors and nurses. I have a great relationship with all of them. And hopefully they're watching. Hey, Dan and Dr. Dilling and Aaron, if you guys are watching. So thank you to all my team members at Loyola. Thank you to the CFF. And my story started with the CFF in 2017. I was we grew up in that old school, you don't need to tell anybody your business. You don't need to lead with CF. I wasn't, like I mentioned, I wasn't that ill, so I didn't need to tell everybody, and I didn't. And so I kept it super quiet until, even after transplant, I didn't tell anybody, people I went to school with, former colleagues, people, nobody knew, until Dr. Erin Lowry at Loyola convinced me, and she said, no, listen, you gotta stop being scared. And for me, it was more of a professional fear. I don't want people to Google my name when I'm applying for jobs at big firms, and then they see, oh, well, she's got all these health issues, we can't hire her. And unfortunately, it's illegal, but it's true. It's what happens. And so I never wanted to play the victim role, and I never wanted that label. And so I tried my hardest to curate this image of just independent, strong boss on my own, until I couldn't. And Dr. Erin Lowry was like, listen, live your truth, live your authentic self, and see what happens with your life. What's it gonna hurt? And so she connected me with Dr. Farrow because they were looking for a patient rep on the CF LTC, the Transplant Consortium. And that was 2017, and I've been involved ever since. And I have a great relationship with our congressman, a personal relationship with Sean Casten. So I've been really trying to push the efforts in Congress. And so I thank everyone involved with the CFF. It's changed my life for the better. I wear it like a badge of honor now. And of course, I'm gonna bawl my eyes out and I bring tissue, but I just have to thank my husband, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I have to thank my husband, who stood beside me and literally helped dress and redress wounds, who would sleep in the hospital chairs, sitting upright, get ready at the hospital, go to work all day, come back to the hospital. When I was pregnant, he was there 24/7 when he wasn't working. When I had my baby, he would go home in the morning, pick up my mom, bring her back to the hospital with our baby so he could go to work, and continued on and on. And I don't think there's anyone else in the world that would have done that for me and stood beside me. So I love you. We'll be married. Do you know how many years we've been married? You don't know. He's not good with dates. It'll be 17 years. 17 years. So met when I was 26. And so thank you, Bobby. I love you. And because of Bobby, the greatest thing he ever gave me was my son. And all I've ever wanted was for him to be proud of me. And I don't need the professional accolades. Before I got really sick when I was pregnant, the dream was law school, big corner office, kill it, right? And then I got sick, really sick, and the only thing that I begged for was not more time to go to work and more time to make money and more time to establish my reputation. It was more time to raise my son and to be with him. And so I decided, I'm thankful enough that my husband has a good career, and I said, I'm not going back to work right away. I need to raise him. I don't want to drop him off at a daycare because who knows what's going to happen to me next week. And I don't want him to grow up thinking I put my professional aspirations before him. And sometimes the two, what's best for me and what's best for him, are not congruent. It was best for him when he was a baby to go to the parks, to go to the play dates, to do these things. And I physically couldn't do them. And so we just sat in a recliner all day reading books. But he's my reason. So when people ask, what's your reason why? Why do you fight? Why do you advocate? Why do you push so hard and advocate as a patient? All my doctors and nurses know, she knows what's going on. Like we'll talk to her, we'll give her our opinion, and she's good, she'll figure it out. Every decision I make, my son Johnny's at the forefront. And I just want him to always know that no matter what I go through, no matter what life and future has in store for us, he's my reason. And he'll be in college in 4.5 years, and I'm gonna buy a condo right near you, honey, and I'm gonna be right there, I promise. I promise. I'll make dinner and your friends can all come over and I'll do. So I just want to thank everybody. Thank you so much to the CFF for this honor. And I'm looking forward to decades, many more decades of work. Thank you.
Well, congratulations, Fanny, and get ready for that condo. I think you're at. All right, we have one more really special award tonight, and it's time for an award that's presented to a volunteer whose name, as you may not know, but he has played a significant role in this amazing story of CF progress. The recipient of this award is someone who has dared to dream big in so many ways. You're going to hear about that now, and along the way has inspired and helped more people in our community than you can ever imagine. Specifically, anyone who takes a CFTR modulator, whether it's Kalydeco or Trikafta or a Liftrec, this person played a giant role in that. This person's, this year's award winner exemplifies what it means to innovate, and to collaborate, and to drive transformative progress. So for more than 30 years, Paul Flessner has been a dedicated supporter of our mission. He's an influential leader and has driven a lot of our efforts to find a cure. He's the father of two sons with CF, Andy and Jonathan, and Paul and his wife Susan became involved with the foundation in the 1980s. Paul initially distinguished himself as an exceptionally talented volunteer leader in the Seattle area, where he worked as a senior executive at the Microsoft Corporation, while also serving on the board of the Washington chapter and spearheading several major donor events, which have raised millions of dollars for CF research. But Paul also played an early and active role in some of our most important scientific initiatives. I'm not going to steal his thunder because he's going to tell this story, and I want him to tell all the story, but the bottom line is that Paul's personal relationship with Bill Gates made possible that original $20 million gift from the Gates Foundation that funded the Aurora Biosciences work that has led to all the CFTR modulator drugs like Trikafta, which are transforming the lives of thousands upon thousands of people with CF around the world. So we're going to make sure we honor and thank him for that. Paul later served on the board of the CFF, the CFF Therapeutics board, which helped to guide our drug discovery investments and created a framework for driving those novel therapies. And most exciting, the unprecedented opportunities we now have to continue to pursue our ultimate goal of a cure for all people with cystic fibrosis. So it's hard to overstate the many ways in which Paul's commitment and his business acumen and his generosity, as well as his compassion, have transformed our community. So, Paul, we're so grateful. We're grateful for you, for your leadership, for inspiring us, for the incredible impact. I know we're hearing all the details now that we want to hear about, but can you come up to the stage so we can honor you?
When you dream big.
Thanks, Ed. Well, thank you. Let's get our picture, and then I'm going to get off the stage, and you can take over.
And when you laugh, be sure to laugh out loud, 'cause it will carry all your cares away. And when you see the beauty all around and in yourself.
Very generous. Thank you all so much. I don't know how I can follow those heart-wrenching stories. And I'm going to come clean right away. I did nothing extraordinary to earn your recognition tonight. Matter of fact, what I did was quite ordinary. And I would hazard to guess that pretty much everyone in this room has done exactly what I did. I made an ask. There's a couple things that were a little unique about this ask. One was the timing, and the other was the gentleman that I asked. So if you'll indulge me for a few minutes, I'll tell you a quick story. In the spring of 1989, my wife Sue and I were living the dream. We had just welcomed our second son to the world, an infant. We had two boys, a 2-year-old and an infant son, seemingly healthy. We had bought a little home, a little starter home a few years before that. I had a good job, family, friends, life was good. A few weeks into, it was probably a couple of months actually, after Jonathan was born, he got sick. A little cold, no big deal. Got a cough. The cough lingered, turned into a little bit of a wheeze, sort of fell off the growth chart, and before you know it, we're in the hospital in a panic with an undiagnosed illness, and the poor guy is, deteriorating pretty rapidly. So we've been sitting in a very miserable children's hospital in Chicago. I hope nobody's from Children's, but it was a tough time for us. Sitting in a hospital room, and one day in May, early May, May 1st, a young attending physician marches into the room. And this physician had clearly studied bedside manner under Attila the Hun, and sat down and looked us straight in the eye. We're in our late 20s, and said, both your sons have cystic fibrosis. They will be sick their entire lives. They will have infections that will increase in frequency and duration, and they will die of pneumonia probably before their 18th birthday. Have a nice day. It probably wasn't exactly like that, but that's what I netted out of the whole thing. And not to be outdone, the next day actually, the social worker came in. This was before the internet, remember? We get a couple of brochures, and he said, take a look at these. If you have any questions, let me know. And by the way, 80% of marriages that involve a CF child end in divorce. Okay, at this point, you're looking for a meteor. Your world has collapsed. So the good news about all this is none of those things happen. None. Sue and I will celebrate our 43rd wedding anniversary next month. The boys are 36 and 38 and in good health. And fingers crossed, if all continues to go as planned, we will have our first grandchild in about 30 days. Now, something also very important happened in 1989 as it relates to CF. The genetic defect was discovered by Francis Collins and others, and the buzz quickly became on the scientific community in CF that, look, in about 10 years, we're going to have this thing in a completely different place. We're going to have all kinds of new drugs, new therapies, breakthroughs. It's going to be a fundamentally different game. So what you've got to really focus on is keeping your sons healthy as you can for the next 10 years, and then things are going to be much, much better for you. So that sort of became our rallying cry. We ended up getting CF care at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. We're still living in Northern Illinois. And just like we thought, the boys stabilized, got pretty healthy, and we settled into our life. So much so that in the early 90s, I decided I'd like to make a career change, and I was in software engineering, and I wanted to get into commercial software development, and that work was all being done on the West Coast of the United States, so it was going to involve a big move for us. And I lost my train of thought. I'll get it. One of the big things that were predicated upon this move would be, what CF center we would end up at. We weren't going to go anywhere where we weren't going to get as good or better care than we were getting at Madison, which was quite honestly fantastic. So we kept hearing over and over, Seattle Children's, Bonnie Ramsey, lots of great things about that area. We took a trip out there, looked things over. I got an offer from a company that was anything but a sure thing at that time, but past a startup, a company called Microsoft. It looks good now, but it was a little shaky then. And we made the big move. Left all our support system behind, moved across the country. Not an easy thing to do, but it went very well. We were getting fantastic care at Children's, great support community with the Guild in Seattle. And work at Microsoft went very well for me. So the one important thing started to happen to me at Microsoft over those 5 years or so. I was constantly surrounded by these insanely talented people who were all driven to do one thing, and that was the mission of the company, which was simply to change the world. We were going to take computing out of the data center that was reserved for only the largest companies, hundreds of millions of dollars investment. We were going to put it on the desktop, in the home, and information at your fingertips and that whole thing. So when you're constantly inundated and surrounded by people like that who never take no for an answer, the job was when you bump your head on a problem that has never been solved before, you go figure out a way to solve it. That was the job. Sign up or there's the door. Sort of like that. And that thinking sort of permeated me as a personality, my personality and my work ethic at Microsoft. So it wasn't out of my character in 1999, 10 years after 1989, when we saw that there was not really the things happening in the CF front that we had thought and that everyone thought. The clinical care had improved tremendously, lives were being extended, new therapies, all good things, but the breakthrough drugs were not there. So I didn't even think twice when I picked up the phone, called Bonnie and said, look, I gotta get involved, we gotta do something, this isn't happening, how are we gonna change it? She said, you need to talk to Bob Bell. Bob Bell gets on the phone in a week. I kind of throw out the idea, I said, look, I think if we could find a good science-focused project to really try to advance the science of CF and moving it toward a cure, I think I could get some money. Bob said, awesome, I've got an idea. I've been working with a company in San Diego. Why don't you go see if you can get the money? I'll make a phone call and I'll touch base with you. So I made an appointment to go see the boss, sat down in his office, told him the story, and Bill had just become a new father himself. He was touched by the story. They didn't know it at the time. And he said, Paul, I want to help you, but I need you to do me a favor. I'm trying to start this foundation. It's not really off the ground yet. There are no employees except my dad, and we don't have an office. But I need you to go do an ask to my dad. So, okay, we can ask the dad, no problem. So Bob puts together the pitch deck, and a couple of weeks later, we get an invitation to go see Bill Jr. Bill Gates is a third, so he's a junior. We show up at his home in Seattle, 1950s-style ranch. Walk in, knock on the door, lets us in. We start the pitch. It's sort of hot in the house. We're sitting around the dining room table. Bill's dad is not interested. He's dozing off. It's not a good scenario. I keep trying to repeat things and wake him up. He gets aggravated. It's not going well. At the end of the meeting, we sort of ask him, are you kind of inclined to do this? Flat out hard, no. We're interested in poor country, poverty, diseases in children. This really doesn't fit that bill. So no, we're not interested. So we walk out of the house. Bob and Bonnie are like, blew that, done, whiff. And I said, I'm not so sure, but let's see what happens. I don't remember, 2 weeks later, I get a call from Bob. He said, well, I'm sitting at my desk. My admin screams. I go running out to see what happened, and she's standing there holding a check for $20 million that came in regular postal mail. There you go. Thanks, Bill. He says, I'll meet you in San Diego. That's where Aurora Biosciences was. Bob had already, unknown to me, first he recognized that things weren't progressing the way they needed to as well, which is good, because I was worried that was going to be a big fight, and Bob's not an easy guy to fight with. So he said they're focusing on this technology called high-throughput screening. Drug development at that point in time, a really good bench chemist could maybe screen 3 to 5 compounds a week for efficacy against a given disease. These guys were working on technology which is commonly used everywhere today. It is the de facto standard. They were going to be able to scan 10,000 chemical compounds per day to see if they worked against a disease. We're like, yeah, that sounds like a winner. So I flew down there, and the culture I witnessed that day was exactly what I was used to at Microsoft. Paul Negliescu, who was the head of the science program down there, had a wonderful team of people, tremendous energy, same ethos. We're going to change the world. This is what we're doing. This is why we're here. We're not really asking for permission for that. We're just doing it. And so we made the investment. A couple of months later, we had the paperwork signed. Toward the end of that negotiation, we slipped in a little clause, because they really needed money, that said, if you get a drug, we get a percentage. That was very helpful to the bank account. Very helpful. That clause will never be in another contract ever. I assure you of that. So at that point, let's see, where am I going next? Okay, so my point here is there's a couple of things that sort of made that happen. You got to sort of, I guess what I'm asking, or the reason I came here today is one, I'm very honored and thank you for the recognition, but I really came, we've got this new challenge that we have to face, and it's a daunting one, a new science program that's focused on the cure, which we're all signed up to do, but something happens when you flip your thinking from, this is something that we're signed up to do, but, we're trying, we're going to do our best. I just need to ask you to flip your thinking and think, this is what we're doing. This is it. This is what we got. This is what we got to do. And the reason is quite simple, because if we don't do it, nobody else is going to do it. It's as simple as that. So the other thing I want to encourage all of you to do is just get out there and make the asks. How does a kid that grew up on a farm in the middle of Illinois end up in the office with Bill Gates and get $20 million? I don't know. I still don't know. But that's how it can end. All it takes is some connection like that, and just walk in and ask. There's nobody on the planet that has earned the right to ask more than this room. You guys are that engine that makes this thing go. If you think about this, the science community that the CF Foundation curates carefully, thoughtfully, runs on one thing. That fuel that it runs on is money. This is going to take a lot of money. When we initially got the drug, or when we initially got the agreement with Aurora, we thought that would take about 4 to 5 years. We were going to get a drug. We thought it would cost $40 to $50 million. It ended up taking 20 years, and it cost $500 million. And the O'Donnells, Joe, they raised so much money, did such a fabulous job, and all of that came together to bring us this drug. So with that, I thank all of you for my family and all the families with CF for everything you do every day. Thank you.
When you dream about come true, when you dream big.
Wow, wow, wow. Paul, we need you on our fundraising team. I also want to say, Fanny, I see you. I'm also buying a condo next to my boys. I saw Mike look at me. He knows how obsessed I am. And right away, he recognized that that's exactly what's going to happen. Once again, congratulations, Paul, on receiving the Dream Big Award. Your dedication and passion have truly inspired all of us to think and act boldly to move our mission to find a cure for CF. I've so been looking forward to this moment. Tonight, as we celebrate big dreams and remarkable achievements, it is my very great pleasure to turn to a remarkable achievement of another effort to advance our mission, the Milestones 3 campaign. So this campaign, which began in 2020, was chaired by the late Joe O'Donnell, our beloved philanthropic leader whose legacy continues to inspire us and push us toward our goal. Joe is my friend and a friend of so many of us in this room, and his unwavering commitment and vision have truly left an indelible mark on the foundation and our community. In honor of Joe's monumental efforts, 2 extraordinary volunteers stepped forward without hesitation to co-chair this campaign. I can't think of 2 more dynamic, devoted, and daring women to lead this campaign. I am delighted to introduce Kate O'Donnell, Joe's daughter and a current member of our Board of Trustees, and Amy Berry, a former board member. Both Kate and Amy have also previously served as chairs of VLC and have shown exceptional dedication to our cause. They are both my friends and partners in success. Please join me in welcoming Kate and Amy.
Thank you, Irena, and good evening to everyone. You know, one of the CFF's biggest strengths, and what my dad always said the biggest strength was here, has always been its tremendous leadership, which has always been perfectly aligned with what the foundation and community needs at the time. Irena, we are so incredibly lucky to have you right now. I lost her. There is absolutely, there you are. There is absolutely no one who could do what you do. Thank you. As she mentioned, in January of 2020, my dad, Joe, launched the very creatively named Milestones 3 campaign with an ambitious goal of raising $200 million in major gifts and legacy commitments. This was my dad's 3rd campaign, and he was deeply, deeply moved by the incredible support that we received, especially during the very challenging years of the pandemic. I'd like to share a very special moment with you all. Here is my dad speaking about his passion for the CF Foundation at this event many years ago.
I'm lucky because I have this organization, because when Joey died 31 years ago, I didn't know where to go. The organization, the fraternity, the camaraderie, and all of the things that we all bring to each other made a difference in my life, saved my life maybe.
This community is so unique and has accomplished so much. And I want to thank all of you for your incredible generosity, your longevity, your determination that's helped make our unprecedented, really unprecedented progress possible. You know, you're carrying on, all of you are carrying on the unwavering spirit of the remarkable families that came before you and friends who created this movement over 60 years ago. So, thank you for all you do and what you continue to do, and thank you for believing in this great organization. So we're going to continue this battle. We will succeed. We are going to succeed. And then we'll celebrate again, you know, one last time. But we'll always be friends forever.
He would have absolutely loved and hated this. Loved it because he loved people who loved him. And who doesn't love being publicly adored? Hated only because he was so adamant about the fact he would constantly say, "I'm no hero. It's about this entire community." And to drive that point home, I'd like to quickly do his favorite exercise. So, this morning I was really blown away by how many new people we had in this room, which I think is a higher number than we've ever had. And I want you all, this group, very specifically to pay attention to this exercise because I want you to see what it has taken for us to get to this point. We stand on the shoulders of giants, many of whom are in this room tonight. And they kicked this off with little more than hope. As my dad used to say, they all gathered together. There was nothing, simply to watch their children die together. So, if you have been involved for 50 plus years, I would like you to stand up and stay standing. What about 40 years? And stay standing once you're up. Just join them. 30. 20. 10. 5. And now let's have everybody who's new join everybody else. This exercise is so important because I just want you all to see that this is a whole family, and there have been people who have been doing this for so many years. We don't do this alone, and we cannot do it alone. This story is all of our stories. So thank you for your commitment. Back to my teleprompter. My dad's passion and commitment continues to inspire us every single day. And here's my favorite fun fact. My dear friend and co-chair of this campaign, Amy Berry, who Joe would call the classiest broad, and who he adored, was the volunteer who asked my dad to chair the very first Milestones campaign back in 2004.
Thank you, Kate. I don't think any of us could possibly have imagined the extent to which Joe would shape the future of this disease. It's not hyperbole to say that many of us owe our lives and our children's lives to Joe, and we will forever be trying to find ways to honor his legacy. We're deeply grateful for the dedicated volunteers from the CF community who joined the Milestones 3 effort. Their names are listed on the screen, and we invite all of the Milestones 3 campaign executive ambassadors and committee members to stand and be recognized for your tireless commitment. Thanks to this campaign, we've increased our Legacy Society membership by close to 650 members, bringing the total to 1,200 members. We extend our heartfelt thanks to Bonnie Binker and Jerry Socherman for their foundation's National Matching Challenge, which played a crucial role in recruiting new members throughout the campaign. The campaign has also secured major gift donations and legacy commitments from more than 1,150 donors in our community. And Kate and I really want to thank Irena, Pat, Angela for their remarkable work on this campaign. Thank you so much for your guidance and encouragement. We're grateful. Irena, can you come back up here? We think you should be up here for this big announcement.
So are we ready? So before we go ahead to announce our results of the Milestones 3 campaign, we do have to do a final nod to our dear Joe. If you have donated to the Milestones 3 campaign, we are so grateful for your gift. Thank you so much. You can exit through this door. And if you have not, Amy, Irena, and I will meet you at this door. And thank you in advance. And now, it is my deepest honor to reveal the total amount raised as of this evening for the Milestones 3 campaign. Drum roll, please. It up. We are thrilled. We're thrilled to announce that we have surpassed. Has it not done it? So wait, okay. We are thrilled to announce that we have surpassed our goal and have raised $202 million.
And Kate, we have so much momentum and so many irons in the fire that we've decided to challenge our incredible community to take us well beyond our original target. This is critical to our mission of finding a cure for all, and we encourage each of you to consider joining us. So, let's keep the momentum going and reveal our new goal. Drum roll, please. We're going to be extending the campaign through the end of the year for an updated goal of $250 million, making it the largest campaign to date for cystic fibrosis.
Wait, we gotta get the mic. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Until it's done!